Hello.
Hello.
What was that? A dissolve in? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what
was
I was
nice.
trying to make happen last time and it didn't work and we came in
It
too
was-
early?
Exactly the opposite of a dissolve last time.
Yeah, it was a very hard cut. And there was a lot of sarcasm going on in the chat about how we were going to get it wrong again and we didn't get it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. We can see the chat.
Yeah, do they know that we can read all of the insulting things they're saying about
I can
James
read,
wearing a
you know.
denim mankini rather than just the normal double denim?
And yes, it is hot in the shed. But no, I've not taken off my big coat.
Someone says it's weird to see me in a regular T-shirt and not a vest. I guess they're American and they mean a waistcoat, because I don't think I have ever done the podcast wearing what we call a vest in the UK.
Oh, God, no.
Like an Italian-American gangster in his living room. No way.
Oh, is that what you get? Is that your go-to vest wearer?
Oh, yeah. Or Rebsy Nesbitt, if you prefer. I tried
Mine's-
to come up with
mine's
a
a
reference an American would
A
understand.
rotund patriarch with a knotted hanky on his head on the beach.
Oh, yes, classic.
Patriarch or patriarch, I don't know. Is
Patriarch,
that
I think.
different between North and South, patriarch and patriarch?
I would say patriarch, but who knows? James, how are you feeling?
Patriarch.
Hot?
Good.
Tired?
I'm a little tired, a little low energy. I apologise. I've been busy acting.
Acting?
Yeah,
Tell me about it, please. I didn't know this. What are you...
I've been appearing in a bunch of sketches for the past 2.5 hours.
Oh?
Recording. I played a greengrocer in all of them. Played
right.
a bunch. I think technically I played a bunch of different greengrocers. Is that the plural?
Yeah. So hold on, they cast you as multiple greengrocers. What range?
Full range.
What range they must have seen in your acting ability that they thought you could plausibly be more than one greengrocer.
Yeah, from confused greengrocer to paranoid greengrocer to angry greengrocer, and then one last sketch, market trader.
Oh, I see. Now that's a talent.
Who's a fruit and veg store, though, obviously.
But to be able to sell market trader who specialises in fruit and veg rather than greengrocer. Mm-hmm. No, not everyone can do that.
There is some chat in the chat about what's a greengrocer.
Some people don't know what a greengrocer is.
How do you not know what a greengrocer? It's like, imagine a grocer, but they're green.
It's someone who sells fruit and vegetables. It's the name of that shop. Maybe in
Yeah,
other countries they call things like the store, the vegetable store man.
The plant monger. Veg vendor. That's a good one.
Yes, one of my favourite actors, Veg Vendor.
Hmm.
Fantastic German art house cinema star.
Mm.
He can do
Veg
them all. He can do
vendors.
greengrocers. He can do market traders who specialise in fruit and veg. He can do a lot.
He can do that person that's got the thing outside the front of their house that says eggs £1.50.
Yes, he can. He can nail it. And those, I don't know if you've ever been up to those people. You live in the countryside. So sometimes they'll say, like, cup of tea, £1. And you think, there's no way this is registered with HMRC. There's no way they're paying tax. But you think, well, come on, £1. But whenever I've been in that situation and knocked on the door, the person has reacted with utter surprise, as if the sign saying eggs, raspberries, or tea was planted there as a prank by one of their enemies.
Like a kick me sticker on someone's back.
Yes, exactly. Like
on
the rural
a house.
version of a kick me sticker that just says, I will sell you farm products at a reasonable
I've
price.
never seen cup of tea.
You've never bought a cup of tea for £1 from an old lady who looks like it does not sell cups of tea for £1. Really?
I think you've frightened an old lady, really. I think you've hallucinated that pound thing, and you've just bullied an old lady
We're happy to pay, of course.
And given her £1 to keep her quiet.
£1 for a cup of tea is reasonable, James. You've lived in the southeast for too long. It's hot water and I want to say a beanbag, but the phrase is tea bag. I'm also a little tired. It's hot water. How much is hot water in a beanbag? How much is that going to cost you? It's £1.
That's got to be more than £1. Beanbags are big.
Buying one bean at a time. Beans, £1. That's what it says outside my house.
Bean, £1. Can you hear that woodpecker, by the way?
No, I
coming
can't
in
hear
and
a
out.
woodpecker.
Well, there's a little woodpecker knocking around, literally knocking around.
In the last live stream, I couldn't hear any of the rain until we came to edit, and then your mic was picking up a lot of rain. And I'm starting to realise this is why most major audio productions aren't recorded in sheds.
What?
Woodpeckers, rain, babies, zombie babies.
JMW Daredevil has just said in the chat that isn't a woodpecker, it's a mooey.
This is so irresponsible, and it happens.
This
every
is getting out of
time.
hand, and it's often JMW Daredevil. I think he might have changed his name.
It's always the same, the usual suspects who come straight in with mooies. I should be clear because I've seen a few people on the chat. Some people are watching over on YouTube. Absolute Daredevil Mavericks. There's about there are 19 of them at the moment. Apparently, hello. And some of them may be watching for the first time. I know at least one person in the chat said watching for the first time. And at this point, they might be thinking, what's going on? What's maybe happened? We should... Why have these two people switched their cameras on only to be ridiculed and mocked by people in the chat? James, would you care to explain what the Loremen podcast is and how it works?
Okay, right then. Hello, welcome. You know the stories that you hear about something that happened down a road near your house? There was someone heard maybe a crying child, and then they went and there was no crying child, but there was some dust or something. We love those sort of things. We like your local legends that other people haven't really heard of. Not your Robin Hoods, your King Arthurs. We want your
keep
your ghost duck.
Loch Ness monsters. Keep them.
Oh, well away.
Not interested.
No, thank you. We want a sunken pirate town off the coast of the northeast.
Yorkshire.
We want. But... Oh, was it? We're still in the northeast.
Oh, right.
It's northeast of me.
Let's not get into. Oh, it's northeast of me. Okay, let's not get into it. Stop just shouting mooies, people in the chat.
That is, and then also mooies are a thing that literally haunted a friend of mine when I was a kid, and his neighbour, and our group of friends were haunted by these things. The mooies. We were a type of shadow person.
Yeah. And how do you bring on a mooie incident, James?
You mention the mooies.
Exactly, and that's what people are making us mention the mooies, only hoping that we'll be subject to mooie menacing.
There's a small white fly on my
mouse.
face.
Sorry, the mouse.
Thank you.
Sorry.
But we're not talking about mooies today. We're getting well away from. We're actually talking about a story very local to my region, which is kind of mooie central. But we're not going to be talking about mooies. But before we get on with the story, welcome everyone. We've received some correspondence, Alasdair.
Mm-hmm. To the old Loremen PO box. Yes,
and it's come all the way from Sweden.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Not got a huge population in that country, so that's quite impressive that one of them wrote to us.
Yeah, and they haven't gone on about how you've slandered the size of their populations.
No, because they wrote the email a few days before we put out today's podcast. But anyway.
Yes.
Tell me more.
So this is I know people say, oh, it's boring to hear about people's dreams, but this really rewrites that rule book.
I think that rule doesn't apply when you're talking about Swede dreams. A lot of Swedes have dreams. They dream of living out in the middle of the countryside with unnecessarily large windows that a sniper is watching them through. I've seen television.
And then does the sniper say just before he takes the shot, "Sweet dreams"?
I didn't even notice that "Sweet Dreams" was a pun. Well done.
You're welcome. So this dream, I just got to warn you, it's a little bit spicy, saucy. It's a spicy sauce.
All right, movie warning, spice warning. Are we talking one little cartoon jalapeno next to it on the menu, or 2 or 3?
I think it will turn out to be one little cartoon jalapeno with a dotted line emanating from the end.
Okay.
It is saucy.
Wow.
So what happened? This dreamer was cleaning and listening to the podcasts, and they think that it got into their head. We got into their mind.
Mm-hmm. It'll happen.
And so the dream starts as a sitcom show with recorded laughter, but it's not on a set, it's in a real building. And they can hear when the people are speaking, but not what they're saying. The cheers, laughter, and applause are crystal clear. Alasdair Beckett-King is standing in front of some sort of reception/medical facility, talking to a nurse and filling out a form. He's there to donate his healthy and robust sperm.
What?
Which is of extra value.
So is this there? Have you embellished this at all, James, or is this as they've written it?
I am reading it verbatim. Healthy and robust.
Robust. Okay.
Sperm, which is extra valuable due to him being a true redhead.
No, I'm going to stop doing act-outs at this point. Because up until this point, I've been trying to act it out, but now I'm not. I'm just going to sit here and listen. It's extra valuable because I'm a redhead. Carry on.
Yeah, something that less than 1% of the world population is. I don't know if that's true now. Is that true now?
Yeah, until my robust sperm gets out there, yes.
Well, yeah, and then hopefully he will father many children. And then it says, some kind of lewd joke is made about him donating sperm. The audience laugh and cheer. Now, this sketch is over, and the camera moves to another door. Enter James Shakeshaft. Everyone applauds.
Why did no one applaud when I was on?
Not like normal. Everyone applauds. And he opens the door proudly and stands posing for a moment with his chest puffed out in a fabulous outfit and wearing Henry VIII sort of style Tudor, big puffy, big green velvet puffy hat and trousers, puffy slits and all that, big white feather, red and white feather coming out the hat.
How, James, this sounds like you're making it up. How has this email been sent in such a way that when you tell it, it sounds like you are making this up?
He tries to move forwards, but his legs are stuck in place. And soon he just jumps out of his legs and pelvis as if they were some kind of prosthesis. They remain in place, and James is revealed to be a little person with very short legs, but still clad in luxurious clothing, presumably with the long arms as well. So I'm sort of like an orangutan.
Ape, yeah.
The audience makes an audible gasp of surprise, then laugh and cheer.
Not all of them, though.
No, it doesn't specify all of them. I wonder what I've done. Too much posing, probably. The legs and pelvis still stand in the doorway, kind of like the penguin's robot legs in Wallace and Gromit. And he jogs slowly because of the short legs through the reception area, and then I chase after someone exiting the building. Some men are loading something into a white van in the parking lot, and James jogs towards them, waving his arms, trying to stop them. They get into the truck and slowly turn out of the parking lot and drive away.
Disproportionate arms.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
It would be easy. I should use the arms to kind of
wave with the
swing
legs.
myself along. Yeah. He looks very disappointed. I look very disappointed, and the audience laughs. End of dream.
That's the end of the dream. Wow.
And there's little 3 points that they want to.
There was no
really
sort of tie up for my subplot about sperm donation. Then that didn't really. That didn't really. For want of a better word, pay off.
There's 3 intense feelings from the dreamer. 1, how beautiful Alasdair is. with his luscious red hair and a perfect and valuable genetic specimen he is. How beautiful and luxurious James's clothes
complimentary
were.
and it moved towards racist, but carry on.
And the suspense and wonder over why James was chasing the van. I'm guessing someone stole your sperm.
That's what's in the van. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get it back.
Yeah, because we're friends.
Yeah, well, it's valuable, evidently.
It's very
Maybe
valuable.
I'm trying to double cross them and sell that sperm on the black market on the Silk Road.
James, that is extraordinary. And
Terrifying, isn't it?
Completely inappropriate, I think. Did we get permission to read that out on the live stream?
I did ask, and they're yet to get back to me.
Oh, someone is quite rudely asking how you were stuck to the floor. Let's not get into that. No. Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Our podcast is not normally as saucy as this. Swedish listeners,
I just wanted to get people off on the... I could get people started, get people going. No, I just wanted to share that because it had been frightening me, and that's what they say, isn't it? A problem shared is a problem halved.
Yeah, I know. I tell you what, I'm not worried about movies now.
No.
That's
very much banished all thoughts of moo from my mind.
So, Trey Bakes in the chat is asking if we're going to rate. I think score that. I don't think we should. I don't think we should score the saucy dream story.
The saucy Swedish. Is that, I mean, there's a food stuff I'm thinking of from Sweden, and don't want to say it.
Don't say it. Drink from the tanker. I'm gonna drink from the bird mug.
Yes, the bird mug. But what I actually want to tell you about is it's totally different. It's completely different. It is.
Sorry, there are categories being suggested. I'll tell you what. I'll set you up for this, James. I'll do like a proper Loremen episode intro.
Yes.
And we'll all try and forget about what just happened. And people in the chat will probably stop mentioning Swedish sperm. Welcome to Loremen, a podcast / live stream that is not about movies or sexy Swedish dreams. It's about forgotten folklore and obscure curiosities from days of yore. I'm Alasdair Beckett-King.
And I'm James Shakeshaft.
And James, have you got a story for me this week?
I have. I've been helped out by a special deputy law person from the member of the public, an innocent bystander who has stepped in. Justin Hyde helped me out on this one.
Oh, thank you very much.
He's reasonably
Justin,
regional. Yeah, and he's helped me out because I was looking up about the Endstone Hoar Stone.
The what?
The Endstone, that's a place name. The Endstone Hoar Stone.
I think you're going to need to spell this.
Hoar.
Oh, okay, as in the sense of old?
That's like hoary and old, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Near Lidstone. Thank you very much for your spammy D. Yes, it's near Lidstone. So, yes, as in hoarfrost as well.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Is hoarfrost called that because it makes everything look all grey and grizzled and old? I always thought.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and I think
described as hoary because we look like we've gone frosty when we get grey in our beards.
Oh, I think it's because the greyness because they're limestone, so when they get wet, they go kind of quite grey and foreboding and glistening.
Because if hoary means frosty, then frosties could be called hoaries. And I don't think anybody wants that. For breakfast.
With Tony the Tiger.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great to me. A delicious bowl of hoaries.
Yeah.
No.
I think the adverts would have probably gone down a real path that would have been in the 80s, and then they wouldn't be doing those anymore. So the Hoar Stone in Endstone, it's a dolmen. It's the site. It's believed to be as old as the oldest bit of the Rollright Stones, which, if you remember, friend of the podcast, the Rollright Stones, that's older than beekeeping.
Oh, I do remember now. I forgot you contextualized it for me, yeah.
Yes. So it's around 3,500 BC. Old school. And it's a dolmen, and it's believed to have been at the front of like a long barrow, but that's no longer there. In fact, behind it though, there is a peculiar man-made hill, but it's much more modern. It's the one that our camera operator, Kian, had done an art project in when he was at school.
In it.
So there were hatches on the top and a ladder going down, and you could get in and go down it. And they did an art project, which was, now he tells me it involves, he spray painted on the cover of the Jizza, who's a rapper, GZA.
Oh.
Yeah, I never realized at the time what it sounds like his name is.
Right.
Sounds like that Swedish Dream, actually.
GZA, yep.
Yeah, his solo album, Liquid Swords. Yeah, he spray painted the cover of that on there because he was a teenager in the Cotswolds, and that really spoke to him.
Naturally, yes. I can imagine the power, the lyricism, the passion.
And he I think they might have nearly died because they didn't really think through using spray paints in a very sealed off underground enclosed space. There is a warning on the can telling you to make sure that the area is properly ventilated, but I guess when you live on the edge and you live for art, I guess you don't always read warnings. No. I don't know much about art, but I know what I like, and it's substance abuse.
Yeah, it's nearly passing out in an enclosed space.
Yes, and it's fainting. So we'd always kind of known about this behind this weird bunker, but it doesn't really turn up anywhere. I think it might be a reservoir or something, but it's definitely in the place where the old long barrow would have been. And there are many theories about what this Hoar Stone is, and I actually went with Kian and I made a little field report there.
A field report? We haven't had a field report for ages because of the old
because of not being allowed to go out.
Because it had been a crime. Wow, yeah, but if you can just email your podcasters with weirdly sexy dreams that you've had about them, I guess everything is permitted. There's no...
Everything is possible now.
Yeah, anything can happen. So Kian can go out and do a field report. Would you like to watch that field report, James?
Yeah, stick it on.
Okay, let's do it. Let's see if this happens.
So that's Dead Man's Riding Wood. And this over here is the Endstone Hoar Stone. Some say it's an old soldier, died at Ditchley and then was brought over here through Dead Man's Riding Wood, and that was the grave of it. Other people say it was a guy called General Hoar, and that's why it's called the Hoar Stone. Some people think it's named after the goddess Her. Some people think that Hoar Stone is a corruption of War Stone, and this is meant to signify a battle. Other people think it was a stone put up for a French wedding. It seems very much in the wrong place, wrong country, I'd say, for a French wedding, but no one really knows.
I think Endstone's twinned with the French.
They didn't twin towns in the Bronze Age. You didn't have parish councils. It wasn't just set up so people could have a jolly.
What about pen pals?
They didn't have pens. What about pen pals?
Screwed it up, James. I went to the wrong page.
Smoothed it up.
It was so good.
More like
too smooth. Little musical interlude there. Did you enjoy that? That
just to remind
James.
people that this started 25 minutes ago, in case anyone had forgotten when it started.
Yep. That was pretty slick right up until the end there. The beautiful video quality. It looks so professional and gorgeous. You look lovely there. I like
That's that Kian.
It's just occurred to me that was a mask you were wearing there, not a saucy neckerchief.
No, that was my saucy neckerchief that I'd accidentally bought from, what was it called, fussypussy.com.
Of course, the one that it's a friend of the show, a saucy neckerchief.
So
Fairness Points is referring to the failures as the return of Captain Slickness.
oh, nice, very nice. So they don't know. There's stories about this Hoar Stone. It could be a general. It could be a marker. Apparently, there was a battle between. Get away from me! Get away!
Yep. Sorry.
There was a battle between Endstone and Lidstone. I don't know if you remember Lidstone being the home of the snuffling beast of Lidstone.
Yes.
And the Harding Bros.
Yeah.
And apparently there was this battle.
Clashed. How large are these places? To put it
There's about 10 houses in Lidstone.
Okay, so battle might be a bit strong. It sounds more like something that I would class as maybe a fight or
a feud.
Barney. Would you say we were in Barney territory? I
think so, yeah. But it involved a general, apparently.
So one of them has brought in a general for what is essentially a fight between 20 guys.
Yeah, basically. It's like getting, Gareth Southgate to come and manage your five-a-side squad or something. And they... but then there was this other one. I don't know if you heard in the video that they thought it was... Some people say it was put up. Some people say it is put up there for a French wedding.
Now, is that a euphemism? Or
I Googled French wedding euphemism. Is French wedding a euphemism?
Because the word French, if it precedes any noun, basically it means something sexy. French letters, sexy. French kissing, sexy. That was more
sexy is kind of kissing.
Yeah, French toast. That's
sexy
toast. Very sexy toast.
Sex is a lot sexier than eggy bread.
It really is, isn't it?
Put eggy in front of any of those things, it makes them a lot less sexual. Eggy kissing, eggy knickers, eggy letters.
It's like a threat you send to somebody who's allergic.
Yeah, it's a sort of like
a threat you send to a vegan,
an
eggy letter.
Just a bit grumpy.
The chat is acknowledging this is I think one of the sexiest episodes. Certainly the sexiest episode since Amy Gledhill guested. I think that was our sexiest episode to date. But this, I'm realising we don't need her. We don't need her to bring the sex.
We just need people to write down their dreams and send them to us.
I have to, just to be clear, please don't do that. Please don't write down your dreams and send them.
Yes. And the more sexual, the worse. I'd say. Yeah,
this is the like Loremen late, like Hollyoak, the nighttime one where it gets a little bit steamy, and I actually am starting to sweat a little bit because it's warm.
It is warm. It is warm in the shed. I've put my coat on because I feel like it's some sort of uniform, but it's a hot one.
Do you want to? Oh, there are teenagers watching. We're so sorry for that. Do you want to take the jacket only off, James? Do you want to do it?
No, I think I've got to that stage where I've got sweat patches. You got to make a choice early when it's hot and you got a jacket on, like at a wedding when you got your suit on, and you think, yeah, I should have taken this jacket off. I'm now just going to have to cook in here rather than be fully.
Yeah, you have to decide early if you're going to walk around
through,
like you work in AC12 in a waistcoat or wear the full three-piece. I mean, I say that as if I've ever worn a three-piece suit. Never worn one.
You rock a vest or waistcoat?
I'll wear a waistcoat. I'll wear a waistcoat, aka vest, if you're American. Yes, I will.
And trousers?
And yes, usually trousers.
That's a form of two-piece.
To be honest.
Pardon?
I said it depends on whose dream it is. Anyway, I thought, thank you for laughing. We'll need that for the edit. Someone is saying they don't mind. People are noticing my frizz and saying they don't mind your sweat patches. This is getting a bit personal.
Yeah, let's steer it back to the story. I feel we're becoming objectified here.
Yeah, I feel
a sweaty
frizz,
a pair of sweaty frizzy podcasters. So sweaty. Yeah. But a French so I googled.
And you can just like phone in and tell them what to do, and they do it. Yeah, it's just two guys talking about folklore. Anyway,
don't put any conditioner on or deodorant.
A French wedding, you say?
So a French wedding, I looked it up. There's such thing as a blanc wedding or a wedding blanc, which is a wedding that's not consummated.
Oh,
and that's what a French wedding could
that's the least
maybe
sexy type
refer
of wedding.
to. Yeah,
That's
that's
very
all I
interesting.
found.
Did
And
you
then
know
I
that the
started going
words-
into a weird, like, wiki hole of different types. There's such a thing as a Josephite wedding, which is where you've had children, but then you decide to become, what's it called?
like nuns and monks, celibate.
But still living together, but then
okay.
but abstain
Celibate.
after you've had 4 kids. Yeah, celibate. That's it.
So that's a wiki hole, which is that tourist attraction in Cheshire. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, yes. The witch of the wiki hole.
Yeah.
The watch of the wiki hole.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. Did you know, talking about the Blanc wedding, did you know that black
What?
and blank have the same etymological origin, even though they mean kind of the opposite thing? Bit of
Oh, really?
etymology corner for you there. Yeah,
That's a very good one.
yeah. Black and
I
blank
suppose
both have the origin in blanc, and in a way, they are both an absence. But what are they an absence of? An absence of light or an absence of pigment? What a language! Crazy old language
Very good.
that we call English.
A little friend that I like to call the English language and French.
Friend of the show, the English language with some French words.
So I did a bit of Googling around the Hoar Stone, and it's not the only stone around here. There was another one that I'd known about called the Hawk Stone.
I'm sorry. I'm so alarmed because the chat says I'm going to go Google that ABK. So if anything I say is even slightly inaccurate, please do Google it and then correct it and completely mess up the flow of the show.
Oh, God.
Because I will be obliged to read that out and correct it. But I'm pretty certain that's correct what I just said. So please start that link again, James.
So there's other stones in the area.
Oh yeah.
Not only the rollright stones. We've kind of gone rollright stones is the biggest, then Hoar Stone's second biggest, and then you've got the Hawk Stone, which is over near Dean, which is where the tip was famously.
Yep. The famous tip of Dean. So if the rollright stones are the rolling stones, what is the Hawk Stone? Donovan? Where does it stand in the pantheon?
It's less. I don't know. It might be a bit of a Neil Young.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A fellow waistcoat aficionado, Neil Young. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spent half his career wearing Shrek's jacket.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain
Actual
there's pictures
Shrek.
of Neil Young
Actual
wearing
Shrek.
the actual Shrek. You know, the actual Shrek. That's where he got his jacket from. Jocket. He got his jacket from Neil Young, and his jacket. Well, that's another story.
That's for nights, very late nights. Or so night is kind of morning again. But that's thrown me the chat of Shrek.
So you were telling me about this third stone.
Yes, the Hawk Stone. So that is in a beautiful location. That's in a field, and the stories are that it was dragged there by a witch. And there's also the top of it has kind of got a big cleft in it.
Oh, so is that the hawk shape?
I guess so. People say that was where witches were chained when they were burned. But then people sort of more modern times say, well, we didn't burn any witches. And yeah, you get the feeling that's what people would say nowadays. Oh, no. Didn't burn any witches. Ignore that bit of witch burning. We didn't do that. We didn't. No one burned.
James, are you a witch burning truther? Is that what's happening here?
Maybe. But that was the place where we went to, where we went to film there the other day, and there was a man sat leaning against the stone. You mentioned this earlier, but for the sake of the podcast, could you set that up a little bit more clearly so we can edit it in without referring to the little recording? Sorry, people of the chat. Sorry to let you in behind the curtain of how we actually make the Loremen podcast. But would you mind telling me that little bit of the story that we included in the short bit again? Yes. So we were approaching the Hawk Stone, and there was a man there, leaning against it. And I was leaning. And to be honest, for some time, I wasn't sure if he was actually real, but he spoke to us, and I'm not sure if he's actually real still, but I hope he was. He told us all about. He was like an expert on the Grimm's Ditch, which we were kind of chatting about for a bit, and an expert on all the stones around there.
Wow.
And I don't know. The thing was, we just passed through a little village that had a very had a very weird scarecrow in it.
Like anatomically accurate, is that what you mean?
Well, it had trousers on, but it was like...
That's a relief.
It looked like one of its hands was a human hand. Oh. And then the other hand was kind of like some glove or something. It was very odd.
That's a bit of a hand of glory situation. You don't want that.
No. And then I thought maybe it was sort of a scarecrow that someone had put up there for a joke, but then it spoke to us. Oh,
so yeah. I think scarecrows scare. I think I am as scared of scarecrows as crows are. I don't think, I don't think they're particularly scary to crows, are they?
I don't think so. And I don't think it's just crows. I think they're very scary.
Yeah, they should be called scare everyone's.
Scare-all.
Scare-alls.
Yeah. Nice. Scare-alls. Scary, scaremongers. Yeah.
Scare bros.
Fright creatures.
Perhaps?
Yeah. So this, yeah. And then there's another stone, Alasdair. In a place called Taston, or Tarston, which is very near. This is Taston.
Ah.
But with a sort of local name, it's called Tarston.
Oh, right. I would have said Taston.
And there, yeah, you'd say Tarston. And there is another stone, and it's kind of leant up against the wall, and that's called the Thor Stone.
Good
and
name.
That's supposed to have been thrown. That's supposed to have been Thor, the god Thor, threw a thunderbolt, and it turned into a stone.
Ooh, that's quite cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's not.
You don't seem
not
impressed.
Really how thunderbolts work. I don't think. But the people of that town also built a stone cross across the road from it, because apparently this Thor stone is meant to be evil. It's got an evil vibe around it, apparently, they built a cross to kind of ward off the evil. But I've also read that the Thor stone used to be part of a bigger stone circle, and they used the stones from that stone circle to build the cross.
Ah, sort of stealing its power, as it were.
Maybe, or maybe they just thought there was just one bad stone in this stone circle, and they could kind of use the rest. But I think they just got tricked. I think the biggest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the people of Tarston that only one of their stones was inherently evil.
You think all of the stones are inherently evil?
Yes, and I think he's tricked them into making it, because the cross has fallen down now.
So, James, I'm going to put something out there, and
go on.
Shoot me down if you must.
Mm.
Could the origin of the name Tarston, with its invisible R, be Thor Stone? Could the village be named for the stone? I think
that it is, actually. Mm-hmm. I think so.
Not to put my detective's waistcoat on, but that's my instinct.
Get it right on.
It's too warm.
There's another stone as well down by Lynham, and I think this may be called a Hoar Stone as well, but it's down by Lynham, and we went there,
which is named
and we had a little look around.
Ham in a line. That's my guess.
A line of ham.
Let's wait and see if a line of ham appears later in the story.
Fortunately not. Just as a warning, there's no lines of ham or lined ham, which would be sort of corduroy of the ham world. As ham is to denim, so lined ham is to corduroy. But I don't know if you remember the Chipping Norton episode. I talked about one of the ghosts. There was a mist that haunted a little bit of the A361.
The mist that haunted a little bit of the A361. How could I forget it? One of our top spooks. One of our best ghouls.
The corner of the A361 Pudleycut Lane.
Oh yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this ghost was meant to be of old Gran, who was a witch, and she lived in a quarry. and when we went to investigate the Lynham Hoar Stone, we pulled in to the lay-by and got out.
Oh yeah.
And we realised where we were, and we've got another field report for you. Pop it on.
You found yourself in Old Grand's territory.
We very much think so.
All right. If you are you ready for me to play it, James?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. Here it comes.
Well, this is the quarry then. I'll just go off on my own then, will I? Well, there's a mystery cave. I've never been here before. It's scary. I don't want to tempt fate as I peer into a hole in the ground, but there's not many witch accoutrements or stuff about. I think we must have talked about it in the Chip and Norton episode. There's a spooky mist that haunts this bit of road, and it's meant to be related to this witch who lived in a cave in this old mine, and she had a hoard of gold sovereigns or something. What the hell is that? Is that a bin? Is it a modern cauldron? Oh, big neck. Very short legs. Someone's made a jump for their BMX here. Old Gran might have a little dirt bike. Should we go up and see if we can see this stone then? Left of the copse.
Oh yeah.
I think we're probably not. Well, we're definitely not allowed in here. I'm not sure if there's much folklore about that particular stone. It probably goes for a drink. They all do.
We're back.
Oh, that was slick.
That was very
I'd spoiled it by mentioning how slick it was, but that was very slick.
I was quite impressed. So, would Old Gran be maybe a sort of Janis Joplin figure relative to Neil Young, Rolling Stones?
I reckon so, yes. I'd say, yeah. And I think the Hawk Stone, I think Thor Stone might be like a bit of a Bowie figure.
Oh, yeah.
Because people are, they're not sure. Is he good or bad? What is he? He's changing.
He's a chameleon.
I've seen lots of different pictures of it. He's changed from a lightning bolt into a stone.
Yeah.
As David Bowie famously did, he had a lightning bolt on his face, and then...
Of course he did, exactly. You can take away my other stones and turn them into a cross, but I'll use them against you.
Yes. That's as far as my Bowie's going for that one, I'm afraid.
That's as far as Bowie goes.
Yes. So I mentioned there in the video as well that they go down. They all seem to have the ability to go down to the river to drink at night, and it's said that I think it was the Thor Stone or the Hawk Stone. A group of people from Chipping Norton were coming back from the pub at night in the past.
Why does every story from your region involve people coming home from the pub at night?
Because that's all there is to do.
Every story in the Northeast is like a family of farmers was starving to death, and every story in Oxfordshire is like 3 absolute lads were smashing it on a night out. When? What? This is unfair.
Well, what happened is they saw a stone drinking from. What happens is the stones go down to drink from the stream, the local stream at night, and these people from Chipping Norton saw the stone drinking. Now, I don't know how that would have actually worked, because I think if I saw a stone in a stream, I would think there's a stone in that stream. Yep. I wouldn't think, I think that stone's having a little drink, because I'm not 3.
Is it possible that it formed stony lips that were sort of supping at the lapping water, or a tongue perhaps?
A tongue, maybe. Yep.
Or
I don't know. They didn't go into such detail.
Or a straw, possibly.
Yeah, they could have had. It was the past. They didn't know how bad straws were then.
Yes. Yeah.
Or it could have been a person that they saw, and they sort of quizzed him, and he said that because like the Hoar Stone in Endstone is meant to be a horse, a man, and his dog, and
right, okay,
like he goes to drink.
Stone. A horse and man and dog.
A horse stone, yes, that could be another origin of the name. and he's meant to go down to drink from the stream on either on midsummer or every night when the Lydston clock bell strikes 11. The Lydston church bell strikes 12. Sorry.
I see. There's quite a big difference between on Midsummer's Night and every night.
Yeah, if that's you're drinking, like what's now you're I can't think of the word. It's too warm.
I don't know what you're trying to say, I'm afraid. I'd love to jump in and save you here, but all I can do is add to the awkwardness by not knowing what you were trying to say.
Schedule.
If
that's your drinking schedule, either once a year or every single night, you really need to know the difference.
Yeah,
because you're going to need to do it. Take a big gulp if it's just once a year. So we do, but the thing is, they're all supposed to go. Like the Endstone one is, the Roll Stones was. I think some of the Whispering Knights were supposed to go down to the river to drink.
I'm sure I've heard that before, and the only place I would have heard it was on this podcast.
Exactly. The Hoar Stone is meant to go for a drink. The Thor Stone is meant to go for a drink. I think maybe they just saw one stone and it's kind of tarred them all with the same brush kind of thing. Like, they're not. I think they didn't really look into exactly what stone it was. So just one stone goes down for a drink, and they all get blamed with going for a drink.
I see. Yeah, because you think all stones look the same, James. Is that
exactly.
What you're saying? Right.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Is it possible that the stones looked at the people of Oxfordshire constantly going out and getting smashed, and then coming home and having visions, and thought, "I want a little bit of that too"?
Whoa! If you're a stone,
let's go down to the river for a little drinky poos.
If you're a stone, the last thing you want to do is get smashed.
That's true.
But so I've told you a lot of rambling little stories about stones.
You have indeed.
That much is established. But I think I've come up with a theory that ties it all together.
A grand unifying theory
of stone.
I don't think we've ever attempted anything this ambitious on Loremen before.
So, Hoar Stone, right?
Yeah.
Hawk Stone. Hoar Stone. Thor Stone. Thor Stone. Thor Stone.
Oh yeah.
What it is? They're all called Hoar Stone, aren't they?
They're all the same.
Hoar Stone. Hoar Stone, Orc Stone, Thor Stone.
Yeah.
And in the country, you know, that legend, I don't know if it's actually true. I think it's not actually true, but the story of Kangaroo getting its name.
Yes. Tell that story.
As far as I remember it, the basic, I don't know if it's true or not. I don't think it's true, but the idea is that the Captain Cook and all that mob went over there and they saw these kangaroos bouncing around, and they asked the locals, "What's that?" And they said kangaroo, and that's meant to mean, I don't know, or something like that. Is that right? Is that reasonable?
That's what I've heard. I don't think it's true.
I don't think it's true.
So you think we're in a kangaroo scenario?
We're in a false kangaroo story scenario.
Kangaroo situation.
Because in the countryside, people go, "Ooh-ar." They genuinely do. And I think all it was locals agreeing that was a stone. What's that stone? Ooh-ar Stone. Yeah, Ooh-ar Stone. Ooh-ar Stone.
I can't believe you sucked me in, James. I genuinely thought you'd done serious original research for the podcast there.
Well, according to, I have got some reels from the folklore of I have got some real research from the folklore of the Cotswolds by Catherine M. Briggs.
K. Briggs.
She was talking to a man who said he'd seen two ghost men going along Dead Man's Ride near the Hoar Stone in Endstone.
Oh, yeah?
And they passed straight through a wire netting fence.
Ooh.
And his dogs were scared of them. But she points out that Mr. Abbott, when pointing out a large slab of stone lying undressed in a disused quarry, called it an ore stone. So probably the word just means a big stone.
Can we skip back slightly to the big slab of stone, a big slab of stone lying undressed in a quarry.
Yes, naked.
What is that?
It's a nutty
A
stone.
very sexy naked stone, just coyly being like, "Oh, don't look at me."
Yeah, like if
didn't
it was
know
the
you were going to see
70s,
me.
it would be that woman sat in a chair. That picture that was the 60s, but you know that picture of the famous picture of the woman sat in the chair and she hasn't got any clothes on.
Just give me a second, James. Restream is asking me to log in. I don't know whether we're still streaming.
Oh, are we still on?
I can't see any chat. Can you see chat?
I can see chat. Raw Stone. You are, yes. You
We're
are
all
still on
on.
Twitch.
Okay, well, forget it. I can't see the chat.
Are we on
anymore.
YouTube? YouTubeists? All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. No, we're still on.
Great. Pro streamer status confirmed once again. I can't see the chat anymore, but that's not too much of a problem.
It's now just people saying, yeah, you're on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds boring.
You're not missing much.
Let's continue. In that case, James, you'll have to take suggestions for scores.
I feel that's ruined my denim on.
Oh no, I didn't.
That bloody restream.
I think you mean denouement. Denim on is what you're wearing now.
Denim on is my first thought.
You've got your
when I
denim
come to
on.
my wardrobe.
And now let's do the denouement.
Wow,
French
I already
for
did it.
unknotting. Oh, you've already done it.
So it's a bare naked stone. It just means a stone. It could mean it could mean like hoar as in hoary as in old or grey, or it could just mean big stone that's naked. Unlike the
what
clothes
a beautiful
stones.
story about some great big stones that are naked.
So maybe the dream did tie into it, actually.
Yeah, it was an unexpectedly sexy episode.
I suppose they're all phalluses.
Let's not bring Lady Fowlers back into this.
Right then, shall we have some scores?
Let's move into the scoring section. Do you have categories, or do we need to refer to the chat?
I think we need at least one category from the chat.
Okay.
Please. So, and thank you, John Burnside. Undressed means the stone hasn't been shaped for use.
Oh, wonderful.
He's a stone guy.
Someone using Google, not to correct us, but to add interesting facts. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sauciness is definitely getting... But I think if we leave out the dream sequence, it's just stones.
In a theoretical alternative world where we edit out the sperm-based dream sequence at the start of this, we might need a different category.
Oh, there's category of merch ideas, which I think is just selling stones. That's a good one. So we could have 5 out of 5 for stones. Someone's suggesting. Oh,
Sorry, I'm being in the background. I'm trying to log back into the chat so I can see this.
Okay.
Never mind. I'll just have to rely on you to guide me, James.
Okay then. Oh, I'm not very good at it. I get very easily distracted.
I've noticed that. That's why I was trying to log in. I can't remember what our password is. Oh, hold on.
Oh, it's an old
I'm
mess
back in the
of
chat. I'm back in
words.
the chat.
Ah.
I may not be back in the chat.
Okay.
Sorry, pro streamers. Are we in a position to start the scores?
I think so. Let's begin with...
Let's move on to the scores then, James. What is your first category?
I'm going to say the first category is naming.
Names.
So I feel pretty good about this one.
Okay, well, you've got a lot of names, all of them or, so far.
Oh yeah.
Or, Uar,
Yeah.
Thor, Hoar, Hawk.
Another
Quite
Hoar
similar.
Stone.
A second Hoar Stone.
Puddlycut Lane.
Puddlycut Lane, great. But
That's
I feel
fun
like
to say.
I feel like you've
Just
played
say
that
it.
in a previous episode.
I
you've
think I
played that
did,
card
yeah.
in a previous episode. Puddlycoat Lane. Sorry, I feel like you've played Puddlycoat Lane before, and I don't think you can cash in those chips twice.
Okay, Dead Man's Riding Wood.
Dead Man's Riding Wood. Wonderful. Yes.
The man was called Mr. Abbott.
Mr.
No.
Abbott,
That's rubbish.
Yes, that is rubbish.
That's a rubbish name.
Why were you so confident about names, James?
I thought because the names was the thing that it all hinged on, but then as I said it, I realised that I just boiled down the names to make an espresso of names.
Yeah, your very own grand unified theory of whore is what's...
Of names.
Yeah, you've been hoist by your own petard.
Ah, damn it.
And you hate that. That's the
I
last
really
thing you
do
want to be hoist by.
Okay, so
James,
what are you going to give me?
It's a 2. One for all of the whores, and one for whatever that is, dead man's petticoat, riding wood.
Dead man riding.
Dead man riding.
Dead man riding wood. Dead man riding wood. Dead man riding wood. Wait a minute.
Don't Google it.
No.
Let's not.
Okay. Okay, supernatural.
Second category.
Yeah. Second category, supernatural.
Supernatural. Well, stones can't drink from rivers, can they?
No.
No, as far as we know. They can't move around.
Not once a year, not once a night.
No. They can't be evil, like the Thor Stone. That's supernatural for a stone to be evil.
And the cross that's there to protect it.
Yeah, that's also...
I forgot to mention there used to be an elm tree in between whose allegiance was unspecified.
the Swiss elm tree in the middle, staying neutral.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And what else have you got for me? Witches burned.
Witches either bringing the stone there or getting burned at the stone. They're still witches.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
supernatural.
And 2 ghosts walk through a fence.
2 ghosts walk through a fence. It's the start of a joke. Start of an excellent joke.
I think it is. I think it's a 3 out of 5 for supernatural, because most of it was just stones.
It was a lot of stones.
It was.
We found a
very
witch's
stony
cave when we were looking for it.
Of course. Yeah. Okay. All right. Would you like me to knock it up to a 4 out of respect for the witch's cave? All right. It's a 4.
It was really spooky.
Yeah.
It looked like I shone my light down. It looked like there was a wheel at the bottom, like a naturally occurring wheel.
A naturally occurring wheel.
Yeah, well, one of them.
Wow. Well, then it's got to be 4.
Which added credence to the BMX track.
It's a generous 4 out of 5 for supernatural.
Ew, I didn't think I'd do that well, but as I might have pointed out, I thought I'd do better on the names.
Arguably, you didn't deserve to do that well, but it's a warm day.
But I did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay then.
Next category.
Yeah. It's a punning category.
Okay.
Generally unknown.
Can you see that I'm folding my arms?
Can you see that I'm doing jazz hands? Let me just bring him in.
Generally unknown.
Generally, because he's a general. Because he was the general.
Okay.
But there's no one knows. No one knows what they're for, and everyone's got an idea from petrified general to bolt of lightning from a god to disused part of a marquee from a French wedding.
Yeah, that one's the worst.
Yeah.
Of all the types of weddings.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, it's a vague category, James.
Mm.
It's a category extremely lacking in substance, and I would argue also, to a great extent, lacking in valid pun.
Whoa. Yeah, that's true. It just has a word that sounds like another word.
Yeah. And as a consequence, I have no choice but to give you 5 out of 5.
Yes. Sank out of sank.
Yep. Because it was vague and confusing.
It's one of the vaguest and most confusing episodes we've ever done. It's going to be a real one to edit.
It's I think I had my hair. I need something to suspend my hair from my body because that's much better. It's just far too hot. There we go. Something dignified. I'll just do the rest of the stream like this.
That is a look.
Yeah, it's just a general Babylon 5 haircut. What's your problem?
What you need is a series of, in hospitals, what they put the curtains on, the
Yeah.
curtain rail
Curtain
things that are
rails.
built into the ceiling.
Yes.
But they go round corners and all this sort of stuff. You need a bunch of that on your ceiling, and then just a sort of a hoop attached to your hair.
Yeah, so it just
and
goes
into that.
Yeah.
And then you can just walk around your house with your hair up the whole time.
That'd be
Easy.
delightful. That'd be lovely. Yeah.
Don't know what everyone's complaining about.
I just have to do it manually for now until we get those installed.
James, or hire a taller person.
Or come round my house, James, and hold my hair up.
Will you hold my hair up?
What is friendship for? What's the final category, James?
Oh, I'd forgotten. I think.
Are we looking to the chat for this one? Because I can't back you up. All I can see is a picture of an octopus for a reason I don't understand.
I think it's sexy stones.
Sexy stones. Oh.
Sexy stones.
Okay. We've got the bare naked quarry stone.
Yeah.
Very sexy.
Mm-hmm.
The other stones.
Thor is certainly
Thor
very
in the
hot.
Marvel films. He's very sexy. Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Yep, you're getting there. Hawk. Probably one of the
Hawks.
sexier birds.
Yeah, they're pretty sexy for a bird.
Yes. Yeah.
Something that's mostly beaks and talons.
Absolutely, yeah. Compared to like a goose or a turkey, way sexier. Yeah.
And generals, they wear a uniform. And if I've learned anything from the 1980s, wearing a uniform was considered sexy.
It was considered sexy, wasn't it?
And actually the early 2000s, because the dating website uniform.com, the mid 2000s.
I always find who's attractive in sitcoms confusing, like in American sitcoms. Because they always have to do, like, when someone puts on a uniform, they have to sort of do like a special cut to the uniform to let you know that now that person's really sexy. Because, or when someone walks in, because like everyone in American sitcoms is really attractive. So it's weird when narratively they have to establish that one character is particularly attractive, because everyone in the show is attractive. So a lot of the time it's just like that person is wearing a dress, or everyone has to go, that person's, it's weirdly like radio. An attractive person walks in and all of the 6 other attractive people have to go, look, an attractive person has arrived, just so that you understand the story.
They're no longer short-sighted.
Yeah. So
it must be attractive.
So that is basically what I think is happening here with the stones.
Or that person could be made out of stone, and then you're just like, oh, boom.
That's my type.
Hot stones.
Yep.
Hot. Oh, I'd like a hot stone massage.
Just these stones, they're so hot, they're igneous. Or indeed metamorphic. Or actually magma would be the hottest.
Yeah, they're so hot, they're lava.
Yeah.
These stones. They're not. They're all still stone.
Well,
I think they're limestones.
You don't know how they get down to the river, though. They might turn into lava. They might turn into lava and flow down, only to reform at the riverbank, have a little drink, and then flow back up.
That's quite dangerous, turning into lava and then trying to drink.
Extremely
Because you're going to be...
Yeah.
It's going to be... Whoops. It's going to be boiling off the water. Don't know much about science. So, hot stones?
I think it is... obviously, there's you and me, a couple of Stone Cold Hotties, so that's 2. Plus, at least 3 of the stones sounded pretty sexy. So, I think it's a 3 out of 5.
Just to get that extra 1 point.
I think. Well, hold on, that didn't add up correctly. I meant to say 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. Thank you very much. I was going to say because they were the.
I did add 3 to 2 there and came up with 3. Oh, say it again. There.
They were the war stones. That
the
face is absolutely horrible. I've never seen it in real life before, and I promise I will never do it again.
Not even for 5 points. You wouldn't even do it for 5 points, James.
No, it's cruel and unusual, that
All
face.
Right. Well, it's 5 points anyway. It's 5
Yes.
points for the sexy old Thor Stones.
Hot stones.
Hot stone, in quotations, massage.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, this has been a disgusting episode of Loremen. This has been...
Yeah, I didn't mean for it to
don't know
be
how this
so
happened.
grim. I thought I was going to tell some nice stories about actual sort of folklore stuff.
I blame that Swede with their lax attitude. You know, we need a little bit more British repression in the podcast.
Yeah. I blame myself for reading out an email that contained the words robust sperm.
Yeah, if there was a turning point in the live stream, it was that.
Sorry, everyone. I've let us all down.
Well, if you aren't too furious with James for debasing the podcast and your faces and ears, you can support Loremen by going to the old URL that you can see there, patreon.com / and now I can't keep pointing because James is in the way, / Loremen pod. Do you want
I'll
to
take over.
You take over the
Turn
pointy?
that to your hand.
Pointy point.
What? How come I can't understand up and down? Why can't I understand up and down anymore?
If you feel that this is not that slick, you can just continue listening to the edited version of it, which may take out some of the hot, steamy content as well as the bits where we attempt to do a sort of joint point.
Yes, exactly that. And we'll record a new intro and outro, so we'll at least apologise up front that when you hear it on the podcast.
Yes, please do listen again. Apologies are forthcoming.
Anyone who is on the Patreon, the Ben van der Velde bonus episode is going to check your feeds tomorrow. That's coming out, and it's very funny.
Actually,
also a bit spicy.
That one's quite saucy. That one's a bit spicy as well. They're a bit spicy.
That's a little bit spicy. Don't listen in front of teenagers; they'll be embarrassed. And there's another. We'll pop those field reports up on the old YouTube, and I think there's another special bonus one for Patreons. Patrons.
Look, I did a surprise face there, as if I didn't already know that. Ooh.
There's at least one, maybe two. I think. Depends if that man just haunted the film.
I can't wait to see that. Apart from that, James, I think we should wrap this up.
Yeah, thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you so much for watching, listening, heckling. I was not able to see a lot of the heckling, but I assume that it continues.
It's still going on. Yeah, brilliant. Big time.
Thank you very much. Until we return for another live stream, I've been Alasdair Beckett-King.
And I've been James Shakeshaft.
And we were the Loremen. And now let's just see how smoothly I transition to the music. You ready for this, James?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's going to be a dissolve. Okay, 3, 2, 1.